This interview is brought to you by My Patriot Supply. When you see what's going on in our country right now, there's plenty of reason to be concerned. Social unrest is making life very uncomfortable, and it could quickly get worse. On top of that, we know the deep state, they're pushing a second wave. Will they try to push food shortages at this time? Will supply chains get cut off if people can't work? What if you can't go to the grocery store anymore? These are realistic dangers, so don't let yourself be unprepared. Here's what to do right now. Go to preparewithx22.com and start building your emergency food supply. The experts at My Patriot Supply are the only people I use and trust. You can too. And right now you can save $100 off a full week supply of delicious, nutritious meals the whole family will love. My Patriot Supply makes it easy to be prepared at all times. And savings of $100 off a life-saving 4-week supply of food is too good to pass up. The second half of 2020 is going to be wild. So go to preparewithx22.com and get ready now. Hi, and welcome to the X22 Report Spotlight. Today we have a new guest, Aubrey Huff. Aubrey is a Major League Baseball player, a veteran of 13 seasons. He played for the Houston Astros, Baltimore Orioles, Detroit Tigers, finished off his career having won 2 World Series championships with the San Francisco Giants in 2010 and 2012. He retired in 2012, and he started this podcast, Off the Cuff. He is on all the podcast platforms. You can catch him on YouTube. And I am very happy to have Aubrey on the X22 Report Spotlight. Aubrey, welcome to the Spotlight.
Thanks, Dave. It's a pleasure to be on, brother.
Hey, thanks for being here. And let's just start off with your podcast, Off the Cuff. What subject matters do you talk about? What is Off the Cuff all about?
Well, it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. I'm very opinionated. If a topic comes up that fires me up, it's usually something I'm going to talk about. It could be anything from relationships to sports, politics, any, hot button topic of the day. I usually have an opinion on it. It doesn't mean I'm always right, but I usually have a pretty hot topic, pretty fiery. I can piss a lot of people off. So I've turned a lot of heads on Twitter, and with my Twitter, my social media presence, and some of the things I've said in the media, I thought, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast, see what it does. And it's more like, for me, just something out of baseball to do to kind of replace that locker room camaraderie that you miss so much, the trash talking in the locker room. So it's a locker room style trash talking type podcast, if you will.
Okay, great. Let me just get your take on this. I mean, we've all been dealing with the pandemic. They're forcing us to wear masks. Let me just get your take on this. I've seen your Twitter. I've seen what you've been saying. But with the pandemic, with the people that you know, are a lot of people believing that we have this major problem, that we have to wear these masks? What is your take on what is going on right now in this country with the pandemic?
Well, I think it's a system of control. I think it's something that has probably been well thought out over the last, couple of years as a last ditch effort. I think this is all planned. If all the things that Donald Trump, they were trying to impeach him, all the things they've been trying to do to get him out, the fake Russia hoax, everything, this is the last Hail Mary attempt to get him out. To destroy the economy, to keep people inside, to keep Joe Biden in his basement so he does not debate Trump, because he will get crushed in debates. They don't want him debating him. So this, you can guarantee you, Dave, this will last all the way up to the election. And they're going to try and rob this poor bastard with mail-in voting. And that's been a part of the plan the whole time. And for me, I was never really one of those guys in baseball when I played that was very politically well-versed, didn't care. I worried about hitting the 2-0 slider, and that's all I cared about, cashing checks, right?
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do. And then I got out of baseball, and when Trump got elected, I just started noticing things just wasn't adding up. Things weren't lining up. Why is everybody so mad? What's going on? And I started doing my own research, and I stumbled upon a lot of, different websites and things of this nature that I started really, in my gut, really felt. But then I started seeing them online. I'm like, wow, there's people out there that think like I do. And, when I saw this whole coronavirus thing, at first I was scared like everybody else. Oh, my gosh, is this going to be like a plague? And then I started doing my own research, started studying up on this stuff, and realized that, through looking into different things and different opinions and being open-minded, that this is nothing more than just another system of control the Democrats are trying to throw out to get Trump out of office.
So you mentioned Biden. You mentioned that he's not going to debate Trump. Now, he promised to do 3. So you don't think this is ever going to happen? You don't think he's ever going to come out of his basement and go up against Trump?
No shot. I think this is all part of the plan because they know that Joe Biden would get absolutely destroyed in a debate with President Trump. What they're going to do is they're going to throw a Hail Mary the last probably month and a half, 2 months prior to the election. They're going to throw a woman in there, probably a woman of color. My call is Michelle Obama.
I agree with you.
To where they're going to throw her in there. And if that's the case, Trump is probably dead, if that's the case, because this whole Black Lives Matter movement, and you have a black woman going into the Oval Office, your first female president, all these things are lining up. The writing's all over the wall for me. It's definitely an agenda. But, I could be wrong. I don't think I am. But we'll see in November.
So you think that Biden, is he going to step aside, or is Michelle Obama going to be the vice president?
Oh, she'll be his running mate.
Okay.
But he'll be deemed unfit within 3 months of being president. And if not, then basically he'll be president and she'll be like a tool to get him elected, with Obama being in there, Barack will be in there, whispering in his ear the whole thing. So basically what you're going to have is a Barack Obama presidency.
So
that's my theory.
So you don't think that Trump would be able to beat Biden and Michelle Obama in an election? Is that what you're saying?
I think it'd be tough. I think it'd be really tough because, I think he has a slight chance, but with what's going on with the mail-in voting and stuff, which I think they're going to really try to implement. If Trump has any chance, he's got to nip that in the bud. He cannot let mail-in voting happen, especially in the red states. If that happens, he's done, in my opinion, and I hope that's not the case.
What happens? I mean, I don't know if you know about this, the investigations that are going on with Durham, with Huber, where they're looking into what Obama has done, where they spied on Trump. What happens if that information comes out right before the election, like the Trump card?
Well, looking at all the Q movements and all the rumors of Q, and that's one of the things as well. You just saw.
Wait, do you follow Q?
Absolutely, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Wow.
I just kind of became red pilled probably 3 months ago. Actually, it was all still kind of confusing at first, and and everybody's like, why isn't Q doing? Where's this storm? Where's everything coming? I believe Trump is biding his time. He's got to see all these Democrats come out in full force, seeing them just in pretty much exposing themselves, so everybody can see how corrupt and evil these people really are. And then right before the election, maybe that's his trump card. I think Donald Trump is playing chess. Everybody else is playing checkers. So I think two different things can happen here. Either Q is real, which I think it is, and that would happen, or God forbid it's not real and they throw that Hail Mary with Michelle Obama. I can go two different ways, but I'm on the first part where I really believe that this Q thing is real, and Donald Trump is in parts of it trying to drain this swamp, and it's very strategic. You just can't, whenever they started having this Chaz thing, I'm like, why doesn't just Trump go in there and tear this apart? Bring in the National Guard, take care of it. And I'm like, you know what? After I did some initial, pissed offness, and then I started really thinking about it, I'm like, he's got to let these people have their little moment to see how corrupt this thing is. Let these Democratic governors that are in Seattle, the summer of love, expose these people for what they are, idiots, complete idiots. And I think he let that go on long enough, and then a month later, they're finally out of there. So I think he's got to let all these Democratic governors and liberal ideologists expose themselves.
If Biden wins, let's just say on the off chance that Michelle Obama comes in, what do you think the country would look like?
Yeah, it's a scary place, man. I mean, because Trump wasn't supposed to win in the first place. I think
True.
Hillary was, obviously Hillary was supposed to come in, and this country would be probably a socialist in movement towards a socialist country right now. Now, I think that's always been the agenda. The world needs America to become a socialist country to get a one world government, a new world order. That didn't happen, obviously. And so Trump's in the way. And with Biden coming in and Michelle Obama, the Obamas, that was all of their plan. It all started way back with George W. Bush Sr., one of that new world order. I believe that's what they want. And Trump obviously got in the way. And if Biden's elected, you bet your ass that's going to start that train all up again. We probably within a couple of years would be a socialist country.
Now, you've been in the sports world, and lately with the protests / riots, I really call them the riots. We have Black Lives Matter talking about white supremacists, white nationalists. They continually use all these words, and we see Hollywood come out there where they're saying, I'm sorry. The NFL is out there. The NASCAR, it feels like everyone is falling in line with all of this stuff. And you've been in the sports world. I mean, listen, I'm not in sports. I played sports in high school and things like that. But the way the mainstream media is making it seem, and the way the politicians, certain corrupt politicians, making it seem that everyone in sports, everyone is with this movement. Everyone is with this. You've been in the sports world. Is everyone on board with this?
Absolutely not. It is funny. My Twitter account, it's grown like 100,000 people in the last 2 months. It's just been insane how much it's grown. It probably should be growing more. I believe I'm getting censored more than I should be. But in my direct messages, you would not believe, Dave, the amount of A-list celebrities, superstar athletes out of every pro sport, political powerhouse conservatives in Washington, D.C., that has direct messaged me saying, thank you so much for what you're doing and speaking out. I wish I could, but just you're speaking for us. And these are high profile people. And I'm like, my gosh, if you would come out, could you imagine the difference you would make? And I asked these people, why aren't you coming out and speaking? And every time, almost 95% of the time, they all say, it's not about the money or me getting fired. It's about the safety of me and my family. And that's scary because this cancel culture, man, the minute you come out, and if you're a big name, they're in fear of their family's lives themselves. That's crazy. Our First Amendment right is literally under attack. But what it shows me is there is, in fact, a huge silent majority out there. I can't even keep up with my direct messages anymore because it's so many people saying thank you so much for what you've been doing, what you've been saying, and what you stand for. It's a storm of people out there. And those are the people that got Donald Trump elected in the first place. So
you think a lot of these people, they're just staying silent in the background because they're afraid of attacks. I mean, you're outspoken. Have you been attacked?
Oh, I haven't been attacked.
Do they want to cancel, prevent you from doing certain things?
Well, I don't know if you know this, Dave, but I got canceled from they uninvited me from my 2010 World Series Championship 10-year reunion parade.
What?
So every when you win a World Series or you win a Super Bowl, typically every 10 years you have like this reunion. Mm-hmm. And we won in 2010 with San Francisco, the World Series. And in 2020, obviously, the 2010 World Series reunion was scheduled. And I got a call from Larry Baer, the owner of the Giants, and he had said, "Hey, Aubrey, I just want to let you know that it was a unanimous board decision that we're going to uninvite you to the reunion." I'm like, "What? I thought it was a joke." And obviously San Francisco is a very liberal city. Yeah. And I said, "What are you talking about? Why?" He goes, "Well, a lot of things that you say on Twitter can be held as pretty offensive, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Wait a minute, Larry, that's my First Amendment right. Is it something deeper than that? Is it because I support President Trump on my Twitter?" Because on my Twitter, I'm very pro-Trump.
Yes.
And he got silent for 5 seconds. And he goes, "Well, that may have something to do with it." So basically he said, yeah, it's basically my support for President Trump. And so they uninvited me to my own reunion. I was 7th in the league in MVP voting that year. We won the World Series, the team MVP offensively. And you're not going to invite your 4. That's when I got more vocal. That's when I knew that we had a fight to fight. And that's why people are afraid to come out, because they're afraid to get canceled.
Yeah. I mean, from what you see going on in the country right now with people destroying statues, they're canceling TV shows, canceling Aunt Jemima syrup, canceling all this stuff. What do you think their goal is here with everything that they're canceling?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to get to a world where it's so offensive to even speak your mind. Your First Amendment right is literally under attack. And I'm surprised that they haven't been able to take our guns yet. And thank God they haven't.
I think they've been trying.
No, they've absolutely been trying.
Yeah.
And, can you imagine what the world would be like right now if our guns had been taken away? We'd have no way of protecting ourselves. That's why they're defunding the police. They want a anarchist type society. They want to see us divided. They want to see us fighting each other. So much so that we're distracted to the point they can do what they want behind closed doors and keeping us blind to what they're doing. Just for instance, that the Black Lives Matter Blackout Tuesday, Dave, everybody was so distracted about that Blackout Tuesday. Hillary Clinton was in court that day.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about it. Not a peep in the media. It's smoke and mirrors, man. It's distraction. It's a ruse to keep us dumb to what's going on. And too many people out there aren't awake. And that's what I love what we do. Especially you, man. I mean, I just started following you probably 3 months ago. What you're doing is amazing. Opening up eyes. And so many people pisses me off, calling me a conspiracy theorist. No, man, I'm just finally open to the truth and see what's really going on.
Do you think there's two sets of rules? Because I know, like Deshaun Jackson in football, he quoted Hitler, and it seems that nobody said anything about it. Nobody cares about it. And it seems like there's a set of rules for certain individuals and a certain set of rules for other individuals. Have you seen that?
1,000%. Take, for instance, that particular instance with Deshaun Jackson. You can quote Hitler. I don't see one player talking trash, asking him to be canceled. I don't hear anybody in the media call him out. But yet, Drew Brees can go on a radio show, talk about how he doesn't agree with kneeling during the anthem, because his grandfather's fought in wars and he supports America. And he gets absolutely lambasted by the media, players alike. And then he's forced to apologize, which I don't know why he was forced to. If I'm him, I would have either A, told everybody to just piss off, or B, retired, walked away as a legend, and stand up for what I believe and my beliefs and values. But he folded, and now he lost respect from the people that are begging him to apologize. And now he lost respect from the people that supported him. So now he's all alone on an island somewhere by himself. That's what the cancel culture does. And now a guy like Deshaun Jackson comes out here and starts quoting Hitler. And what? Nobody says a peep. It's absolutely insane to me. To me, what Deshaun Jackson did is so anti-American, and what Drew Brees did is so pro-American. What he said, we are literally living, Dave, in a world where it's biblical, where it's good is considered evil and evil is considered good, and it's absolutely. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm raising two boys in this world. I want this world, America, to be pro-God, pro-country when they get older. If I didn't have my kids, I'd be in the woods somewhere, laughing, not caring, watching the world burn. But I have a mission for my kids to live in a better place. I want America to be pro-God, pro-country. And we have a nation of entitled participation trophy winners that are hell-bent on destroying this great country because they think they're oppressed. And it's absolute nonsense.
So you don't think there's oppression today the way they're telling us that there is? And I mean, a lot of the racism that we see are turned out to be hoax, like with Jussie Smollett, with NASCAR, with Bubba Wallace, where that actually wasn't a noose. It was a loop knot, which you use in fishing. The FBI came in and inspected. It's been there for a long time to pull down the garage. It seems like a lot of this stuff is manufactured.
Well, listen, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't believe anywhere in America today. I don't see anybody being a slave today. You know, there's sex slavery out there. Nobody's screaming about that. Everybody's worried about being oppressed. What about sex slaves out there? We want to talk about slavery. That's the real fight. Overseas, we have sweatshop kids making shoes for Nike, right? That's the real slaves. We're not talking about. I don't see one black man out in the fields picking cotton anymore. I don't see, one slave owner, at all. Not today. No. We don't have any of that. We live in a country now. I don't care where you're born. You have the opportunity to make whatever you want of yourself. I grew up. I hate this white. I grew up in a single wide trailer when my dad was tragically murdered when I was 6 years old. I had no dad to throw a baseball with. My mom got 2 jobs, getting her teaching degree, raising myself and my sister by herself. I had every right to play the victim card, to be just blame society, blame guns, blame America. I didn't. I used it as fuel to get to where I was today. And so I made my privilege through hard work. And that's what so many people today don't get. It's America. You can become anything you want to. It's called capitalism. If you are willing to take the lumps and work hard, but so many people would rather play that victim card, that poor me mentality, blame everybody except themselves. And that's the system that I'm trying to fight. These beta soy boys that have just been raised and told they're special. Mommy and daddy never either A, raised them, cared about them, or if they did, they told them they can do anything in the world. I'm teaching my boys they got to work hard. My boys don't have to do nothing the rest of their life. They'd be set if I wanted to, but they actually do chores. They go outside and do my yard work. They work hard. They're going to get a used car when they're 16, just like I did. They're going to appreciate the things they have in this life. So that's how I'm going to raise my boys.
And how about when they talk about toxic masculinity, when saying, oh, we have to stop this masculine rage that's out there with all these men. I mean, do you find that a problem? Shouldn't men be masculine?
Absolutely, 100%. It's a problem. If you check out my Twitter bio, my Instagram, I have in my bio, protector of toxic masculinity. Yeah, that's one of my things I'm proud of. Listen, we need more men out there that drink beer, fart, burp, but we also have those type men that protect their family, that work hard, put food on the table. We need men that are out there to protect their children, to raise their children right, to turn their young men into men that understand the value of working hard will make you money to provide for your family. Now, I'm not talking about the toxic masculinity where you are doing drugs, coked out, beat your wife, wearing a white beat. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real American toxic masculinity where a soldier will go full on to the front lines to protect the country he loves through courage and love for his country. That kind of toxic masculinity who will protect anybody, sacrifice his life to jump into a raging flood to save somebody he doesn't know. To me, toxic masculinity is courage. And we don't have enough of it. We got too many kids today that are wearing these tight blue jeans that are 3 inches too short with penny loafers. They got a man bun. They drive a hybrid Kia with a bumper sticker that says, I'm with her. I don't want that. And guess what? Soy boys, real conservative, beautiful women don't want that either. So, they want their man manly. And that's what the attack has been under. One of the biggest attacks in America right now is in our society, our school system, and hell, even in our churches, is feminizing our young boys and men.
Do you think in our school system they're indoctrinating the children today?
I mean, I don't think intentionally a lot of them are, but when you really look at the statistics, what probably most of this they're spending a lot of time in education today. We're still teaching kids stuff that we learned 50 years ago. And not a lot's changed. I mean, yes, it's gotten more technology and we're learning on iPads, but I just don't think we're teaching kids real world things they need to know in the real world. Like how to fix a car or wood shop. I remember there used to be wood shop, car shop when I was in high school. We don't have that anymore.
No,
and boys don't know how to do any of that stuff anymore. And, we have home cooking. We need to have schools that learn how to cook and eat healthy. Now we're just teaching kids how to eat fast food and McDonald's. And, kids don't know how to balance a checkbook. And it's absolutely insane what's going on in our school systems. We're not teaching them how to live real life. And when these kids get out of school, they've been given so much and they get out of school thinking that there's going to be a job waiting for them and they're going to make $200,000 a year. It don't happen. And then so what do? They move back in with mom and dad. They're pissed at the system. And now they're out burning down the streets and
tearing down statues.
Yeah, I think today we've lost all skills. I mean, the generation that's coming up where, I mean, like you said, I remember I had metal class, I had woodworking, car repair. You know, they even had bike repair in my school. Took apart bikes and put them back together. There's nothing like that anymore. And I don't know if it was done on purpose, but it seems like all skills have been completely removed from today, and all they know is theory. They, sitting behind a desk in a cube, answering emails. That's all they know today. And that's very tough.
Well, and I think another big thing that's what's happening is we've taken God out of everything. I don't know what your religious background is, Dave, but, I'm a Bible believing, God fearing man. And, I grew up in the church. I read my Bible every morning, and I feel like, our society, especially boys today, are being taught that Jesus was a effeminate man. Had kids sit on his lap reading bedtime stories to kids, turning the other cheek whenever somebody assaulted him. Yeah, he did that at times, but he also calls for us to pick up a sword and fight in the Bible as well. Jesus went 40 days and 40 nights in the desert with no food or water. He whipped money changers out of the temple. He prayed for the sinner, but he didn't tolerate sin. He was in the faces of the religious leaders of his day. He was a badass. The guy turned water into wine and partied with the wedding crowd. So the guy was a guy's guy. This was a masculine man, Jesus was. And society, even today's churches, when you go into church, it's all this feminine music. I can't even enjoy it. I hate it. I hate Christian music. It's so soft and compassionate and empathetic. And yes, there's time for that. But there's also a time to get pissed off and rise up and fight. Because I think that's what's missing right now. Christian men and women across America have been taught to just kind of sit idly by, turn the other cheek, while these leftists burn our country down. But I know there's a lot of Christian men out there that think like me that are ready to start fighting. And it's time to pick up that sword.
Aubrey, thank you very much for being on the X22 Report Spotlight. How can people see your Off the Cuff podcast?
So, yeah, you can go on to Apple Podcasts. It's Off the Cuff with Aubrey Huff. It's also, you can watch it on my Instagram and YouTube channel. My Instagram is at HuffDaddy76. And I'll be I post a lot on my Twitter. I'm very controversial on my Twitter at Aubrey_Huff. And you can just go search my name on YouTube, Aubrey Huff, and you'll find it there as well.
Yeah, I'll put all the links at the bottom of the video, so this way it makes it easier for people to just click on it and go right over it. Once again, Aubrey, thank you very much for being on the Spotlight. I really appreciate it.
Dave, thanks all for what you do, and thanks for having me on the show, buddy.